Spawning on the bottom right of Ascension to Air is my Riskus player until Schnubiiii. We have on the other side the blue Protoss playing for none other than herself. It is Piscolita. Maybe I'm gonna have to reduce the game sound. Hold on. Oops. Whoop. That's gonna be cool. Alright, return to game. There we go. Should be better. And I'm gonna remove my face as well, I think. Because it's gonna cover you a lot. Hold on. There we go. No front cam. Boom! Gateway first pumped by Piscolita in Protoss versus Zerg. This is very standard. Though, is it a pull first for Schnubiiii here instead of a classical hatchery first, though it's better to have this pull first in case of early aggressions, but on Ascension to Air, which is a very wide map, which takes a lot of time to travel the whole map and cross the whole way there to get cannons up and ready, or even proxies, I wouldn't feel it's as necessary for defense, but maybe more for offense in this case, because you can get these links running here and have a freeway into the natural if it's planted down as Nexus first, because this is a very open area to cover, and you have been planting your buildings at the main ramp to make sure you don't get any run by. So yeah, there's probably leverage on that Schnubiiii can use in this first game. Piscolita scouting around, sees the pool completed, and probably didn't see the gas just yet, but it's gonna be seen in a few seconds. So she does know that there's absolutely no risk of her getting a speedling rush in the next minute. So that's cool. That's actually very cool. Game's going smooth here. Just 4 links pumped in, probably just to poke around and test Piscolita's wall. Mostly just for that. Though a Zealot pumped in Chrono Boost, maybe in fear of these 4 Zerglings, but they won't have the time to cross the map and reach Piscolita's base there. Now I'm curious, what will be Piscolita's plan here? I've seen Protosses go for an Archon drop again, this time with the High Templars and getting the Storm ready sooner than before. As for myself, I'll play Steel with Glaives and Adepts, but I don't know if other Protosses choose differently these days. Like, I've seen lots of Zest, lots of stats, playing recently on stream. If you guys can actually scroll on Twitch and follow their channel, because they are live a lot of times, and if you're a Protoss player, you'll have a lot of intel just watching these two guys play Stats and Zest. Very good Protoss player, Korean players, of course. Zerglings just patrolling around, probably not gonna reach further than this pylon though, just gonna see that there's a natural up with this overload that is already seen. Though Piscolita could totally trigger an overcharge there and kill that overload if she wanted to. Just waste another charge for an overload. But that's not gonna be the case for now. Schnubiiii getting that one drone on a gas, the rest on everything here. And I don't think she's gonna make any drones anymore. I see 8 links, speed link going, and I see that there's no wall yet, but Piscolita gets one. Though there's a hole here. Basically, if banelings just scroll that way here, there's a big hole here. You see, if both circles here of the buildings are not touching, it doesn't complete a wall. That's a good way to tell on Protoss building. Though we have a third base, we have the Baneling nest, we still have a lot of links though. So is it gonna be a very early rush into a transition through macro? Just push first and just see what happens. We see couple spore crawlers. I don't think she spotted anything suspicious in terms of air units. You know, she doesn't know about the gases in the main, she doesn't know about the tech building, and it's a robotics facility, so there's nothing to be scared of in terms of air units. So right now Piscolita has an advantage on that, because she spent 200 minerals making sure that she's not gonna get harassed by any any air units for the least. So right now more speedlings rushing across the map, just across the map of course, and we're gonna see what damage they'll be producing here. Good hold positions on this Zealot though, force field call to make sure that they don't take any more damage than they should have. And now look at this, the Baneling transition into, look at me, I'm gonna attack you. The warp gate's morphing at the perfect timing. Maybe she's gonna be warping sentries in time before the Baneling's morphing in, but 3 Banelings not gonna be enough, way enough to clear 1 pylon and make it. Well, so right now 2 Banelings left, she's gonna pull back, there's no damage here that she can do anymore, yeah. And the Mothership Core's doing the right target fire here, well played. Taking off all the Banelings, this Mothership Core is a hero. On the other side, we have Schnubiiii making Maulings and Banes at home. But we see a Piscolita that is very solid in this opening. Well, no damage sustained at all. There's nothing that she can actually be scared of. A little poke on this Overlord to make sure that there's not gonna be any information that you can see. Schnubiiii, I see your Overlords. You're not gonna see anything I'm doing anymore. I decided so, and on the third base, with the Roach Warren, maybe pumping up more drones, that's gonna be the objective for Schnubiiii. Catching up on the harassment that she didn't make it worth it, if you guys understand what I'm saying. Basically, her attacking hindered her performance in the macro game later on because she doesn't have as many drones as she could have, hence making her a little bit in a pinch if she wants to get more drones, more larvae, more everything. So yeah, macro, it's all about making as much economy as you can very soon in the game, then just pumping units off on that. Oh, 3 drones chilling on the barbecue extractor here. Man, I miss a barbecue. I want one. Living in a flat by yourself with no balcony. Feel the pain, man. Though the good Sentry Immortal with 6-7 adapts push is coming, and I don't think... okay, Prism. So that's what I was referring to. Like, if you're gonna push like that, you're gonna need a Prism, though. 4, 5, 6, 7 gates. 7 gates to pump that off, and I don't see the Prism. Oh, here it is. I'm really curious right now. How will Schnubiiii handle that? Because there's lots of units right now that could totally invalidate this army through only force fields. And look at this. Here warping, though she missed a couple warping cycles there, but that's not too bad. First roaches are on the way, and now it's all about the push. Force fields actually overlapping each other, but the banelings are not reaching anything. All of this force is unscattered at all. So basically the Zealot just clears out the first baneling here, and the rest of the army can actually full DPS on this side of the roaches, then the next side of these roaches can be trapped as well. Basically right now Piscolita is in a very, very strong spot. GG called. First game for Piscolita in this best of 5. Spawning on the top right of Defender's Landing, the teal Zerg player for my risk. It is Schnubiiii. And we have on the bottom left the blue Protoss player playing for herself. It is Piscolita. She's leading currently 1-0 in this best of 5. Pylon planted at the main ramp, of course, making sure no run-bys runs in, though. As a Protoss player, I myself vetoed that map. Mainly a lot of reasons. Like this rock here is already a pain. You can defend the second base only through that ramp, and well, digging that third base isn't too complicated. There's basically a blink ramp here, but it's not used that much. And there's lots of spaces that Zergs can use through vision here, using the smokes, the little chokes as well. I personally dislike this map, or playing on this map rather. So yeah, it's been a while since I myself vetoed the map, but well. Protoss things, you know, hashtag play to lose. We keep on going here with the production. Spawning pool after the hatchery this time. Schnubiiii getting the macro advantage sooner than expected, because this map allows more for defensive playstyles. One probe on the gas here for Piscolita, so basically it's more macro oriented than before. Taking that probe out a little bit later, and she's not gonna build a Nexus yet, she's gonna build a Cyber first. Instead for Schnubiiii getting the gas after the pull, of course, when this hatchery is going to be completed, Schnubiiii can actually throw down 2 queens at once to get the larvae count increasing. As Piscolita's planting down the Nexus on the natural after the Cybernetics call, fearing an attack, or actually wanting to be very safe on that natural. She's going to be a little bit late on her macro timing instead, but that's a sacrifice for getting a little bit more defense and playing safe on that second game. You don't know how a player can react to you in a second game of a best of 5. Like, you've played macro and you've played just an all-in. Like already, right now at Piscolita's side of things, I'm like, well, I played an all-in against a Zerg player that tried to bust me on my main. Maybe she's gonna try something nastier, and that's why I should probably focus more on defenses on that game. This is a very logical plan of thought, of course, but Schnubiiii is like, well, probably anticipating that side of the things and being like, well, I'm gonna play more macro than last time because what I didn't have was units, and instead I'm gonna focus on getting more production this time and trying to get it on the late game. Piscolita waiting there on this side, making sure that there's no link run by that could reach that side of the map. Here, 2 links checking out on these buildings. Well, they're both gonna be cleared out by this mothership, though they should have pulled back because she probably have needed, she would probably need that to scout later on, or just try to poke with 2 Zerglings when Piscolita is busy doing something else. But we'll see. Right now we have lots of drones being pumped, more queens, 2 more queens on the side, and well, speedling on the way. We don't have a 3rd hatchery yet though. Don't have a 3rd, and Piscolita is just building a Stargate, so basically getting on 2 gases, the 3, yeah, of course. I was about to say she's probably getting a 3rd and a 4th gas as soon as possible to get more units pumping. Maybe she's gonna try to get more air units and get a huge attack coming with air units. What I like to do personally as Protoss is to go for couple oracles. It really confuses out Zergs mostly, but yeah. Also, Piscolita, I don't think she saw, but Schnubiiii built 2 spores blindly last game at 4 minutes mark. So basically, if Schnubiiii didn't expect anything and like is thinking that she's gonna go robo again, maybe she's gonna be wrong and get okay no. Well, both spore crawlers being planted down here. Just safety, 200 safety. The rocks finally crumbling down. We get the first Phoenix out. So right now Piscolita's choice maybe will be to, instead of supply, okay, no, good supply block, so that's 10 seconds of not producing, so it makes the Phoenix a little bit later than usual. These Phoenixes will be purposely taking out the overlords around the base, and on the second time taking the queens out and even other key units that you can have in fights or other places. If you can just put your Phoenixes there and just intercept any single drone, any drone that just goes out of that main base, you can just intercept them and just lift them up, kill them. Job is done, of course. So what will be the plan? We see 5 roaches on the production tab and the 3rd hatchery is being down. Do we have a 3rd yet for Piscolita in the plan? Basically, 5 minutes is a little bit late now as Protoss, but Schnubiiii is herself a little bit late with that 3rd hatchery, so it's not gonna matter too much because Piscolita is right now keeping up on the supply with Schnubiiii, so that's not too bad of a situation here for Piscolita as a Protoss player. So I'm curious now. Twilight Council, 2 more gateways. We only get Phoenixes, and now we get the Templar Archives here. The Storm plays are gonna come, though she's gonna have to stop this Phoenix production. Getting the charge, or is it gonna be a Storm charge or just Archon charge attack on 5 gates? I would be hyped to see that, man, because I've not seen that many charge all-ins or just charge attacks in a long time. So I'm wondering, is Piscolita this kind of player against Zerg that just all-ins every game? We'll find out in next games, of course, but right now leading 1-0. Schnubiiii needs to take 1 game out of the 2 next ones, including this one, to make sure that she's staying for more games. So yeah, let's see what Piscolita has to bring and what Schnubiiii has to respond to what Piscolita brings. Of course, we're gonna have more gateways later on if she's planning to all in, but right now 5 gateways is a very reasonable count. So we see right now the first lift on the queen. Now all the roaches not gonna be efficient to get this attack on. Oh, okay, well, sniping the okay, yeah, there you just no, you have 5 Phoenixes, so basically 4 Phoenixes are enough to just snipe 1 queen. You know that this one has a lot of mana, so basically you just lift that one up and just try to macro to not lose the one that is lifting up. Woo, guys, just talking too much. I'm just gonna drink more. So the goal is just to micro a little bit with the Phoenixes, making sure that the only queen that has the healing gets lifted up so she doesn't survive an assault here. The spore built on that base, 4 drones being taken off, and we see on the other side that Piscolita is taking a 3rd base. We have the Hydra being instantly thrown down by Schnubiiii, making sure that, well, I've seen 5 Phoenixes, which is more than 4. Good calculation here, MRaptor. Well played, such a quality caster. But you know, 5 Phoenixes means most of the times that she's gonna go for heavier air than usual. 4 Phoenixes is the, I'd say, magic number to make something out of them. But if you get more than 4, it's actually telling the Zerg, I'm gonna go air heavy. The 4 queens are enough of an answer to that. This Phoenix is not gonna get anywhere anytime soon. 2 Forges about to complete, or 1 completion, and Templars about to merge on this base. I will be just for Storm because I see that there's 150 gas, so probably she's waiting for the 200. No, actually not. She's getting more gas heavy stuff as such as upgrades. Of course, the +1 upgrade is very important to just sustain against links as well. Protoss using charge lots. So I'm really curious in upgrades. Well, okay. The only upgrades are made that are made are Carapace for the Overlord and the Speed Link. So no attack or defense upgrades yet for Schnubiiii. Focusing on making a lot of units, making sure that these Phoenixes are not gonna get any leeway in the bases, spreading spreading Hydralisks everywhere. So yeah, 4 Hydralisks, like actually the same amount of Phoenixes than Hydralisks is enough to push them back, or just maybe slightly more. Like if I see 5 Hydras using 5 Phoenixes, I'm like, well, I'm just gonna pull back. Getting more gateways on the fly, getting that first evolution chamber. The second one is going to be planted on in a few seconds, as we have no tech yet to transition on the hive tech this time. Do we still see the Phoenixes stumbling around the map, making sure that no overlords can go around and get any information on what the opponent is doing? Schnubiiii right now is being trapped in her base. Seeing these few Phoenixes here, probably not going to get anything done out of them, but it's enough to get the scale here. Did she? No, she didn't see the Hydra then, but she's probably gonna see the Hydras in a couple seconds. There we go, and look at it. Piscolita's backing up very like in an instant right now. This, yeah, this thing annoys me, you know. This is what she thought when she used the Hydras to chase the Phoenixes, and now she's gonna destroy it. She's feeling safe enough right now to go for an attack, and I think that it could be deadly here. This Observer is gonna be sniped for nothing. Here, scouting the army that is going on forward. I think the script tumor is on the way on the expansion. Correct me if I'm wrong though. I think so. I think so. Well, lots of charge. Storm is going on, and we have the Prism on the way as well. I think a big push is going up on Piscolita's side, and will Schnubiiii be able to defend it with only Lynx and Hydras, which are buffed light units? I'm not so sure about that. The +2 upgrade is going to be pumped out, and I think that Piscolita will be wise to push on that +2 attack timing, and that would be very interesting to see what sort of damage that will come out of this engagement. But we see the Phoenixes. Will she be lifting units at the same time and pumping the micro? We have the hype as Protoss. Guys, voices yourself on Twitter. Oh no, this is a bad engagement for Schnubiiii here. She doesn't need to get these things running. I think she was just sending them for run-bys, but these got intercepted very badly, and ooh, look at this. This push is gearing up to be insane. We have lots of bendings. Force fields are very well placed, getting only a few zealots in, and now we have the rest of the DPS. Storm will be on the way. Boom! On all these light units here. Everything is melting through that DPS. Look at this Templar still on the side. The Phoenixes are not gonna attack, and now it's all about the A move, and I think the Prism here is warping more Stalkers instead of Zealots. No tank needed, we need DPS this time. This is what Piscolita is going for here. GG called. Piscolita takes game number 2 here. There we go. Spotting on the bottom right of Odyssey. Odyssey? I don't know how do you say that in English. Odyssey? Odyssey? I would say Odyssey. I don't know, like the French pronunciation thing. Anyway, spawning on the bottom right is a teal Zerg player playing for my risk is Schnubiiii. And yeah, okay. We have on the top left of the map the blue Protoss player. Leading 2-0 in this best of 5 is Piscolita. So now I'm really curious. Piscolita has been going for 2 very dangerous timing attacks for the Zerg player Schnubiiii here. Odyssey being a map that looks very much like Ascension to Aya, as we've seen previously. Maybe we should go for the same build, and that's what I'm gonna see right now so far, that she goes for the exact same opponent that she did on Ascension to Aya, because both maps are really similar in terms of main and natural organization, if I can say. So the third though is being very different, because on Ascension to Aya, you have it on the high ground. This one is on the low ground, and this one as well being on the low ground. So it's just a different structure here. Getting that gas up, we see Schnubiiii getting that Hatchery in the natural, Scout by Piscolita, no Forge as at all, no Cannon Rushes tonight. I'm sad. Maybe we'll see some tonight because we have Mitsukote against Poison, and I don't know if she's just gonna rush out DTs or get some cannons going down. So let's see. Let's imagine the wildest stuff tonight, and of course the banter about how many DTs Poison will make tonight is still going on. We'll be voting on Twitter, guys, and I'll be making the polls. I'll be linking them in the chat, and I'm sure that you, everyone, you will respond to that positively in a concrete manner, because we're all grown-ups, right? No proxies to be seen around with these lurglings. Fallings just really stumbling around the base, making sure that there's no very suspicious things from the Protoss coming up, and nothing on the third and the fourth as well. So this is a very preventive type of move, because you could always get the scout with an Overlord instead. But well, you never know, and that's why I like Schnubiiii scouting here. You never know. This is the reason why. Anyway, get Dazada out. And we have the Adept, very much like Ascension to Io. This is sort of a remake from Game 1, and if it is, then I'm curious about Schnubiii's plan here, because it's gonna be probably harder to hold any sort of pushes here, because the ramps are wider, and the engagement's chances are very low in terms of getting short surrounds with links and baiting connections and all. So, well, we'll see what happens. And I've not seen shenanigans around the burrow baneling stuff in a while, the burrowed mine. Like a deadly green land mine, of course. No tech building yet for Piscolita getting the 2 gateways, though I dislike this pylon placement. There's really something about it, like, people have pylon on the wall on the side, but that's still fine if you have sentries. That's only if you have sentries, because any baneling bust can just rock through a pylon wall, and you just have nothing left to defend afterwards, because usually when a Zerg goes for a Link Bane assault, it means the end if it gets through. It just means the end. So let's see, Piscolita gets that third gateway on the side, but yeah, as I was saying, look at them. This is very clever though. If Piscolita would take the Xel'Naga very soon, then she would have seen this sort of push coming. But right now, as a Protoss player, you don't usually take the Xel'Nagas. Oh, and I think these guys will just shading out. Oh, this is gonna be harsh. If nothing, oh, look at this. No, you need to attack right now, Schnubiiii. You need to do the damage right about now, because there's nothing home. These Adepts though will try to deal in some damage, but at the same time we'll have Schnubiiii attacking, and there we go. We have the assault started. We'll get through the base, and we see the Zealot. Will get through? I think there's a space in the bottom here. I think she could just force the way. No, she can't. Actually gets back, and now look at this on the main base instead. Focusing down every single drone that she can. Piscolita is taking out the economy of the opponent as she defended at home very quickly. The Mothership Core is gonna chase down these links. This Shade's gonna get away with all the... Oh no, everything's dying here, but we have a couple drone damage done by these Adepts, though very well played here by both players. Actually trying to do both assaults at the same time is very hard to handle. We have the Prism going through, and I think it's gonna be heavy Adept Warpins right now. And I would be very interested. Will we be, yeah, a frontal push? Will we be seeing a frontal push here? And a back. Oh, here's the scout of the links. You see him. You saw them. But the links didn't see you because you went across this path here. Okay, no, basically she's ready. Okay, Schnubiiii probably saw the Prism. So there's no frontal push yet. But the third is going to be pumped on that side. And I think that's going to be very dangerous for Schnubiiii here. Yeah, the Stalkers have the range totally here. Boom. Everything gets down. Now Schnubiiii, Piscolita gathers the army around. 4 Adepts being warped in the Prism. Oh, is it seen? Is it seen? It's seen there. It's seen just about now. Look at this. Everything gets into the Prism, gets into the main instead. And now it's all about the defense. Now you split your links on both bases because she's going to be abusing that choke point here on there as well. And now she's gearing for the frontal push. As you see in the minimap, she's moving on the same time. And now look at this, the adepts are being... Oh no, everything's circled here, so 2 adepts in this prism only, but there's the main push in the main side here. I don't think there's enough forces though for Piscolita. I think all the links can actually surround that force and get everything through. Oh, 16 drones, what? 16 drones? The force fields are good, not making... Oh, look at this, the surrender is gonna be terrific. The good recall here for Piscolita, fearing the danger. I'm not gonna go any further with a push. I tried to do something, it didn't work, and now it's all about dealing the damage in the main base and the third base at the same time. Well played, Piscolita here, making sure that the opponent is always under heavy pressure. And look at this, Schnubiiii. Oh, I missed that up on the same time. A run by on the main base, there was nothing to cover up that hole, and now everything is going through the base. The force field didn't work, force field number 1 didn't work, but number 2 worked, and now there's everything on that side. Not attacking, and she should actually use that time where Schnubiiii is focused on that assault to actually use his adept on the main base. More adepts. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Even more adepts. There's never enough. There's never enough adepts, right? Yeah, right now it's going on. Look at the shade going on. The prism hasn't been dealt with. And now she had all the space to warp in the main base. Now all of these adepts are focusing on that queen. That's not efficient. Now it's going to be all about focusing the drones here to make the most out of this assault. But there's lots of adepts. And I think everything can cover up for any sort of link attack here. And Piscolita is taking a upper hand in this sort of engagements right now. Making sure that all of these units are making the most DPS. Even though they die, they trade. And that's the most efficient thing to do against the Zerg that uses all their lava to make sure that they can produce anything like drones or links here. Everything perishes through the DPS. The links are light units, and adepts just shreds through light unit. 24 drones taken away with this engagement here, and there's nothing on that side. And look at this, all these adepts are making the job here. This Nexus being planted on the side as well. I think these adepts can actually win the game by themselves. There's no use for a frontal push here. 24 drones, lots of links up, half perished through that game. GG call. Piscolita takes the series 3-0.